It's no longer getting DeGrommed. It's now called getting McClained. Nolan McClain pitched another gem for the Mets in Los Angeles on Tuesday, and what did the Mets give him? 1 run of run support. Thank you so much for that 1 run. Really appreciate it. What's that going to do against the defending world champions? 7 straight losses for the Mets. And another Nolan McClain start where he's left thinking, can this offense do anything for me? In 3 of his 4 starts this season, the Mets have lost 4-3 in 10 innings where he gave up just 2 runs. They lost 7-1 where he gave up just 2 earned runs and 6 1/3. And they lost last night 2-1. That's 3 out of 4 Nolan McClain starts the Mets have lost this season. And it's only April 15th. This is supposed to be your stopper. This is supposed to be the game each week that you find a way to win. And the Mets just cannot find a way to win, no matter if Sandy Koufax or Nolan McClain is on the mound. And on the other side, Yamamoto, he didn't get the run support either, but what the Dodgers did is, against the Mets bullpen, they found a way to scratch out a run. The Mets can't find a way to scratch their back right now. This team cannot manufacture runs. They don't bunt. They don't steal. They don't play the small ball that they need to play to get those runs home. And you're left saying, well, what the hell am I watching? You're seeing similar at-bats to what we saw in the second half of 2025 that drove the Mets to make changes. Now, it is still early. The team can still turn this around. But why I sound so defeated right now is because this continues to happen to us as Met fans year after year after year. And, I stick with what I've said, that I have faith in Stearns. I have faith in this franchise. I have faith in Steve Cohen, who tweeted some frustration, but more so positivity, which I'm sure fans didn't really appreciate on Wednesday morning. But the reality is right now they are hard to watch, and we will continue to watch. We do a show every day about the Mets, but the Mets are hard to watch, and I don't blame you if you got to take a day off, because right now this team in April, in a long season, is crushing our emotional and our mental health, and it's not pretty. You're watching Mets Daily. I'm Jake Brown. Hit that thumbs up on this video. Subscribe below. Comment below. Let us know how you're feeling right now. I'm not going to yell and scream today. It's just not worth the time. I'm not going to Frank the Tank every day. It's not worth the time. Again, I still have faith. I know some of you think I'm an idiot for having faith, but the reality is, again, the season ain't over on April 15th. And they got to scratch out a win and then put a streak together. They had 3 8+ game losing streaks last season and still almost made the playoffs. So I don't think this losing streak is going to deter them, but what it's going to show you is that this continues to happen to this Mendoza team. And, Will Salmon wrote about it, and he's right. It's too early to start talking about firing the manager, but I'll counter with this, and Will does an incredible job covering the Mets for The Athletic. If they go 0-6 on this homestand and they are off on Monday and return home Tuesday, you're telling me this team's going to return home to that fan base in front of crowds that will be very sparse next week, especially because the weather's not going to be as hot as it was this week. You're going to tell me you're going to show up and everything's going to be golden? No. This team has an 0-6 homestand. You kind of have to fire Carlos Mendoza on Monday. And I agree firing a manager in April may be a little bit early, but this is now a sample size of, over a year. Last year, what happened in the second half, Mendoza was lucky to be back. Everyone else didn't come back. He did. And that was a risk the Mets took, and they put the utmost pressure on their manager by doing so. So, I don't want to do this every day about Carlos Mendoza's job. I don't think it's fair to him. I don't think it's fair for us to continue to debate every day if he should be fired. The offense, it's on the players. They got to wake up. They got to get going. But 3 8-game losing streaks plus last year, already a 7-game losing streak here in mid-April. It's not a manager holding anyone accountable. It's not really a manager and firing anyone up. And listen, this team's going to take time to gel and to develop some chemistry. You can see that it is not yet a tight-knit unit. And simple things like when they get a hit or Bo Bichette gets a double and looks to the dugout and there's almost no kind of celebration. I do think there is something, how the Dodgers do their little whatever they do, and you do this or you do something. I think it's some kind of unity with the team. The Mets don't do anything. And it just seems like they're running through the motions right now. And that's what concerns me is, do these guys like each other? We'll see. Obviously you brought in clubhouse presidents. I still like the Simeon Nimmo trade. I know no one likes it. You got rid of that Nimmo contract. Nimmo will break down. If Nimmo might have a great year this year, he's going to break down. He was breaking down here with plantar fasciitis. Maybe that ends up working out better for the Rangers, but the Mets wanted to get 2 less years. They wanted a great defensive player, which Simeon's been good defensively. He just hasn't hit yet. And he had a slow start last year as well, and I get he's 35, but at some point they got to get going. And that's what Steve Cohen tweeted about, as you see below the tweet last night, or this morning, I should say. Nobody likes to lose, but I saw some green shoots tonight. I guess he tweeted it after the game. On offense, Lindor had 2 hits, including a home run. Bichette got a double hitting it to left field as opposed to recently being right field prone. Benj got a solid hit. Soto started his running progression today. Simeon hit a shot that might have been a home run on a warmer night. Finally, Nolan McLean pitched an outstanding game going 7 innings. Hang in there, fans. We will turn this around. Listen, I respect the sentiment, and I think Steve Cohen had to say something. But pointing to Benj getting a solid hit and Bo Bichette hitting the ball to left field and Lindor finally getting a homer and 2 hits is almost comical. I appreciate it, but he's got to wake up and smell the coffee and not talk about Benj getting a solid hit. Carson Benj, the way he's been playing, he will be sent down when Soto's back at this point. So, do you agree? Let us know in the comments. Will he be back? Will they get back? I think they find a way to turn this around at some point. I don't know when it's going to happen, guys. I'd love for it to happen against the Dodgers tonight. But how can I have any faith right now? Me, I've been the captain of positivity amongst the fan base and amongst Mets content creators. I'm deflated right now. And it doesn't mean I think the season's over. I still have faith, but I would look like a fool to really be acting positive right now. And I get Cohen acting positive. He also sees, ticket sales. And he also sees, I need to get people in the building next week. Next week might be, silent at Citi Field if we're not giving away bobbleheads. And he's not wrong if that's what he's thinking. Either way, I think he had to say something. I just don't love that he's pointing to singles and doubles that don't produce runs as green shoots, whatever that means. McLean, great. Yeah, great. Soto coming back, and that's the next thing I want to talk about. I think that's big. They need Juan Soto back. And you're seeing in these one-run games, missing someone like that who could just tie it up with a home run is crushing the Mets. And listen, I think the Mets need to do a better job with these injuries. Jorge Polanco probably should have went to the IL. He's clearly not 100%. He could barely run a first base yesterday. Jared Young is dealing with a leg injury. Put Jared Young in the IL. The Mets got to stop messing around where they have guys absent for 3 days because they're not healthy and refusing to IL them. Get MJ Melendez up here. Melendez homered in AAA last night. Jonah Tong struck out 10 last night but gave up 6 runs. So the Mets have had some up and down performances early on from their prospects and guys in AAA, but get Melendez up here, get Jared Young down. I mean, Melendez provides you positional flexibility. I think he's an upgrade from Jared Young. Again, Jared Young has not been an issue for this team, but if he's not 100%, send him to the IL, man. They sent Gerber to the IL. Austin Warren, who you remember from last year, comes up. Soto started running, so that's the key, with the calf is that he's running. Hitting is not the problem, it's the calf. So running is the key here. My guess is Soto's back on the next homestand next week. That would be my guess, is they get Soto back on next week's homestand. But stop keeping injured guys on the roster. It's very annoying. But, man, do they need him, right? My goodness. Guys, thanks so much for watching yesterday. If you haven't, please go watch. How great was Hank Azari yesterday with his impressions? Just his Mets talk. A lot of clips coming out on my socials at Jake Brown Live. Apple, Spotify, please go give us a 5-star rating in there. We get some haters that have given us some lower ratings on Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating, both Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Just search Mets Daily. You'll find us. Appreciate that. Let's get to your comments from yesterday's show. The C Money said, great interview. Appreciate it. Master says, Jake, that was a fail. He stopped doing Apu years ago. Anyways, great show. We need Figgy again soon. Yeah, I haven't watched Simpsons in years, I'll be honest. So I figured he hasn't done Apu. That's one of the voices he's done. But I know in today's day and age, they don't want him doing that. Yes, Figgy's on every month. Enjoy the show without. This is not Figgy's show right now. We attempted to do a reunion in a more daily thing, but it didn't work out in terms of financials and where it would be. So, yes, Figgy will be on. We'll have him on probably next week. James Fulmer said, "You're a good man. We all deserve a good team this year. It will happen. They will turn around. Not, they say bye to one Mindy." Yeah. Yes. Leo says, "Come on, guys. Joey's Chestnut is the longest run." I interviewed Joey Chestnut. I Lady and the Tramp a banana dog with Joey Chestnut in person over the summer. I know who Joey Chestnut is. I've met him. I know him. But Kobayashi was the old one. I'm talking back in the day. Kobayashi. Sal Capello says, "Sorry, Jake's best ballpark arena food is prime rib sandwich at Madison Square Garden. Nothing compares to that. Nothing." I disagree. Listen, I've ate the prime rib sandwich. Prime rib sandwich is great, Sal, but if you haven't tried everything at Citi Field, I disagree with that. It's not better than things at Citi Field. Prime rib sandwich is great. But also arena is different. We're talking ballpark, arena. It's two different entities. But I've had the prime rib. It is incredible, but I've had better things at Citi Field. Shakamoto said, "I need a Mets rage doll so bad right now." How great was that Mets and Jets rage doll he had? We really need something like that. It's like a stress ball, but a rage doll. The C Money, a season of short stories, so true, and so much PTSD. Yeah, I mean, listen, I can't. The Frank the Tank stuff's a little over the top, but I can't get mad at people that are pissed off and are thinking doom and gloom. I hate to say that. I don't want to go down that route because I think this team is better than that. But the way they're playing, I mean, they are not putting much life. You hear to my voice. I mean, they're not putting much life in us. This could also be the allergies that are crushing me. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, share Mets Daily, and follow me at Jake Brown Live. We'll talk to you tomorrow, everybody.